Let's go!
Give it Duke left to the whoop!
Darren Rizzi, should he actually be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, as in the permanent head coach, and keep the brain trust of Clint Kubiak involved? Man, I love this stuff right here. I formation, you act like you're throwing, and then at the last second you get it to AK-41. And when you do this type of action where you act like you're throwing, notice the linebackers step, and then they step back in unison, and now you got them on their heels with the best running back in the NFC running downhill. Got to love it, and this is really good second-level blocking. AK-41 reads this absolutely perfectly, and he picks up a really, really nice gain of yards. Then we get to this, okay? You've already run with AK-41 on this drive, and now you're getting very sexy and creative, okay? You think you're running a reverse here with Taysom Hill. You're thinking you're running outside zone here, and then you're actually throwing the deep over. And the good thing about this is, let's just say nobody is actually open down the field. You can actually get Taysom running as well, and that ends up being a really good throw on the deep over to 81. And now you're running typical zone read stuff. I'm a little shocked that the backside contained here actually decided to run with AK-41. Honestly, I'm a little shocked that Taysom Hill pulled this. This is a bold pull read because this looks like a clear handoff to me. 54 does crash down, and Taysom Hill ends up making the right decision pulling it, and he's able to score. Really, really, really good stuff on the 2nd and 7, and the Saints take an early 7-0 lead. All right, you got to get creative getting the football to Alvin Kamara. You get a jet sweep motion. It's also kind of weird that there is a handoff attached to it, as if this ball is actually being handled. Okay, so you get a little play action fake, and the Chiefs actually run this, but with Travis Kelce and the tight end, where you act like you're blocking, and then you're actually just turning. And the most important block is right here on 94. God, this is really freaking good right here from Cesar Ruiz, because you have to get play side, because this tackle or offensive lineman here is trying to climb to the second level, and you really need Ruiz to step hard right here and turn 94. Okay, this is also a bad feel right here by 94, because if he just climbs over, he's got AK-41, not being a good athlete. We'll take that all day, every day, Who Dat Nation. And look at the blocks down the field. It's really freaking good stuff, and you get a nice explosive gain with the football in the hands of your best player. I have no idea why more teams don't do this with their pocket quarterback. Okay, fake like you're handing this football off and actually just run a boot with no routes, no nothing. It works almost every single time. Okay, and Derek Carr picks this up. Okay, Trevor Penning did a really good job making second and third level blocks. And now right here, if you're Derek Carr, you just spin off and try not to take a big hit, and you pick up the first. All right, so now you're getting very sexy. You get Taysom Hill to throw a deep pass. I like the idea. It just, the execution is poor. All right, you have Derek Carr out here in the flats. Okay, I would have thrown it to Derek Carr. He already ran for a first down. Honestly, this ball just should have never been thrown. They have it covered, and it's an easy interception. Score 7-6. All right, so a lot of these handoffs to AK have been huge gainers. So you play action, fake it, and what you're doing is off of that, you're playing with 52, who thinks it's going to be a run, and you're actually running a deep over. So vertical here, deep over here. I think some film guys call it Yankee or something like that. It's a dagger-ish where you're running a go, but daggers normally run to the same side. But vertical, deep crosser behind it works almost every single time. And because it was 3rd and 1, the box was loaded. There's not a whole lot of people to make the tackle on the backside here. And now you're just hoping that Marquez Valdes-Scantling can find a way through and take this all the way in for a tutty. And you can see he's trying to find his way through. And guess what? He eventually does. Okay? Ridiculous piece of running right there from MVS. All right, here we go. Derek Carr versus a bad team. Looks like prime Brady. Really, really, really good stuff. First off, the Saints pass protection was so daggum good. Once again, Myles Garrett not to be seen here. Big factor in this play. But still, look at that throw to Juwan Johnson. Really good stuff. Once again, this is just simple stuff. And honestly, Kubiak is a really good play caller. But the one thing he does a really good job of is just taking things that work everywhere else and applying it to the Saints. Okay, this is simple stuff. You crowd the line of scrimmage, get in trips bunch, and just throw to the one trailing the bunch. It's so hard to sort this out in man coverage, and this is just good stuff with Derek Carr knowing that there's somebody unblocked right there. Finally makes this throw to Pettis. It's just smart football, and Pettis actually makes somebody miss and gets upfield. Really, really, really good stuff from the veteran. Now, 3rd and 3. This is just a weird play, but honestly, the more important thing, this is really good quarterbacking from Derek Carr. Look at where he puts that ball, shields Taysom from the big hit, and Taysom just has to hold on to it. Kind of shocked it wasn't called incomplete, but he looked like he did have possession, and the Browns get a big turnover. Same stuff. Play action fake out of a heavier set. Okay, 2 tight ends. They're thinking you're going to run the football, and they have to respect it with Ruiz and company doing a good job running it. And what you're doing is the tight end's running a vertical, and you're running a deep over with your fastest receiver. Okay, play action, fake the counter, good block by the receiver here. And it's actually the tight end that's the vertical, and you have wide open MVS. He is so open that Derek Carr might have been even a tad late in getting it out. But no, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And, man, good stuff. All right, one of Derek Carr's only mistakes, you do basically the same thing, and you have a trips bunch over here with the tight end, and this is a mixture of all the things that we've seen. Okay, vertical, and then the point man of the trips running behind it is where you throw the football. Okay, the corner has to make a decision. Am I running with this, or am I going down to Taysom Hill? The corner has to run with that vertical. So Derek Carr, yes, pocket was a little dirty. Man, you would like to have that one to make it an easier field goal. You can get it, and you can pick up the yards, or you could go for it on 4th. All right, MVPs of the game have to be the offensive tackles. You know, for the most part, this really good Browns pass rush didn't have that big of an effect on the day. You get a really good pocket, and honestly, this is really good offense. Again, vertical from Juwan Johnson, and then you have the tight end who could act like he's blocking out here on the screen, but he's actually running a vertical behind Johnson, and all Derek Carr has to do is read this flat defender. If he runs with Foster Moreau, you throw this. If not, you throw it to Moreau, okay? It's a weird way of doing it. Rarely is it a tight end and then another tight end running behind it, and you pick up a huge gain of yards right there. All right, so Saints get the football back, a little bit of a weird back and forth, and you run yourself into some trouble, okay? Sometimes you play a risky game. You're blocking Myles Garrett with 2 tight ends, and one of them is releasing out into a route. So now you got a rookie, undrafted player, Holker, having to block Myles Garrett, and this is a problem that you have, okay? Either way, it was actually Penning that got beat here to the right side, but it's dangerous stuff going up against these Browns pass rushers. You get the fumble luck, though, all right? Sometimes it's just your day. Ball bounces right back to Derek Carr, and you avoid disaster. And honestly, this was just a bad called game from the Browns defense. I would have played a lot more aggressively here. I don't understand DCs that play this far off the sticks on 3rd and 10 in a game where they did a bunch of underneath throws. We saw Derek Carr miss this earlier in the game. This time, he doesn't miss it. I would want to see if Derek Carr could make a big-time throw right here. That's just too easy from the Browns' vantage point, especially considering Foster Moreau is actually a really, really, really good player. Okay? I don't know how he found his way through, but he's able to power through his old college teammate and get the first. And he actually didn't get the first. So you get a 4th and 1 here, and man, big, big, big block when you really, really, really needed it from, is that Moreau? It is. Holy crap, man. That is ridiculous stuff. That was the block that actually sprung this. Okay, 97's getting aggressive. Moreau does a good job turning him to the inside. And guess what? It's pay dirt here for Taysom Hill if he can get through here clean on this 4th and 1. And guess what? He almost does. Okay, he actually does get through there. All right. Oh, man. What a freaking play from Taysom freaking Hill. Let's go. The Saints get an absolutely massive, massive, massive punt return from Pettis, and now they're cooking again. Okay? One of the more overrated things I see defensive tackles do is get penetration in the run game. As an offensive lineman, I like it when offensive linemen try to penetrate through, because all I have to do with a good running back like Alvin Kamara is just seal him and wash him upfield. Good second-level block right there from the fullback. And then, of course, AK does things that only he could do, baby. Cuts back while not even breaking a sweat. And good stuff right here by Valdez-Scantling, not committing the block and the back penalty and trusting the best running back of this era to make a big play. Look at that stuff from AK. All right, so we get to here, and it's just simple pitch and catch, play action fake, and guess what? You're throwing this to Juwan Johnson. This was not wide open. You have to really put some touch and away from the safety here. Man, look at that ball location from Derek Carr. You love to freaking see it, baby.
I've been here for most of the time Taysom's been, and, listen, when he touches the ball, he's on the field, it affects the game tremendously.
The difference was all about the Saints and the execution and the play calling. You bring an offensive tackle here to the left side when you're in 12 personnel to overload the left for you to run a sweep to the left. And you'll see that Myles Garrett throws Foster Moreau off right here to blow up this counter. So Taysom decides to bounce it to the outside, and then it's all she wrote, right? And that's why Darren Rizzi said what he said. Now, comment below, Who Dat Nation. Do you believe Darren Rizzi should be the full-time head coach? Let's just say the Saints can run it back with Darren Rizzi and Clint Kubiak next season as Taysom Hill looks at the sideline there to celebrate. Would you do it? Would you do it? I'm believing in the Riz. Who doesn't love some good Riz, baby? So yeah, why not at this point? But as long as you keep Kubiak, because this was another masterclass. And once again, the Saints schedule sets up somewhat nicely for them. Can they make a push? Let me know down below. It is Power Hour NFL. Boom! And tonight we are doing enchiladas.